I want to speak just a moment about why we're here. And you know, folks, we're here tonight because there's a need. There's a need in our community. There's a need with one of our friends. And I had the opportunity this afternoon to sit down with Brian. And Brian shared a few things with me that I certainly didn't know. And if I can get through this, there's a few things I'd like to share with you. You know, it's hard enough to raise a child, much less three. You know, and it's even harder when one of those children has been affected by serious illness. And Brian expressed to me that need, you know, that financial strain, but that also that emotional strain, and that spiritual strain that is placed not only on that individual but on the family. And he said, Max, he said, you just don't realize. People just don't realize. You know, they see Ellen, they think she just can't talk. But Brian shared with me today that his little girl lost the ability of any cognitive action. You know, that the things that we take for granted, folks, every day, she lost that. You know, that ability to read and write and communicate with her sisters and with her parents and with her family. But not only that ability to eat, the ability to even go to the bathroom, just everything. It's very hard to fathom, folks. It's hard to fathom unless you've been there, you know. But he also, you know, he shared with me that at one point in time, he looked at this little girl who couldn't even get up off the floor. He thought she just wasn't going to make it. And as a father, you know, that hurt. But then he looked at me and he said, you know, Max, he said, what we've experienced here is nothing short of a miracle. He said the medicine that she's been receiving, it's not doing the job. He said it's God that's doing the job. And what he shared with me, that through this, through all of the uncertainty, you know, through the financial burdens, through the emotional burdens, through the fights with the insurance companies, through all of the unknowns, he's maintaining his faith in God that we know and love. And I know tonight, you know, people say, well, you're going to MC this thing. You need to get some jokes together. You need to do this. You know, I'm not up here to joke tonight, folks. You know, what I'm here to share with you tonight is the fact that God can use each and every person in this room. Because I know tonight that regardless of any illness, regardless of any sickness, regardless of any disability and inability to do what most of us can do and what most of us take for granted, that God is using Ellen tonight. You know, he is using her to bring us together. He is using her to bring these people in to share with you. And I'm asking you folks just to continue to keep this family in your prayers and to lift them up and support them in this community.